Hare Krishna, we continue reading Caitanya Caritamrita Adi-Lila, chapter 7. We are in the middle of the purport, 112, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So continuing to read, we are at Vedaham Etam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastam. Now I understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be the greatest of the great. So we are all wanting to be great. We are great in a certain ways. Each of us have our great qualities. But who's the greatest? That is God. No one is greater than or equal to God. Each one of us is great. Each one of us have our great qualities. But the greatest is God. He is effulgent like the sun and is beyond this material world. So God never takes on a material body. Sometimes we hear, oh yes, when God comes to the material world, he also takes a material body. No, God never takes a material body. When people speak like that, means they have not read the scriptures. Not reading the scriptures and then just assuming things about God. This is very dangerous, very dangerous. So this is Shveteshvatara Upanishad 3.10. Patinam Paramam Parastat is the master of all masters, the superior of all superiors. So we see there is a master, then there will be another. We are answerable. Each of us is answerable to someone or the other. Well, you may say, but the president of the country, he is the greatest. Under his law, the whole country is moving. But he's answerable, in fact, all the citizens of the country. So each of us, to a degree, we are the master. But who's the master of all the masters? That is God. No one is God's master. Superior. We each are superior in some way or the other. We'll have some superior in some way or the other. But who's the most superior? That's God. This is Shveteshvatara Upanishad 6.7. Mahan Prabhur Vaipurushaha. He is the supreme master and supreme person. So if he's a master, when we say omnipotent means somebody who has all the potencies, right? So when we say someone, means he's a person. When we are saying, God, please help me. So we are approaching a person to help, no? We don't just simply ask for help from a chair. We don't pray to a chair, please help me. Inanimate, right? So we are calling out to God. He's the supreme person. Shveteshvara Upanishad 3.12, Parasya Shakti Vividheva Shruyate. We can understand his opulences in different ways. God has so many opulences, and he reveals these opulences to us depending on our surrender. Shveteshvara Upanishad 6.10. 6.8. Similarly, in the Rig Veda, it is stated, Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayaha. Vishnu is the supreme, and those who are actually learned think only of his lotus feet. Oh, wow. So Rig Veda is saying that does it mean to be learned? No, we say learned means somebody who's done masters, who's done PhD, who's gotten some, big degrees. The degrees go on becoming bigger and bigger nowadays. But according to the Rig Veda, one who is learned is one who is a devotee of the Lord. because it's only the devotee who always thinks of the Lord's lotus feet. In the Prashna Upanishad 6.3, it is said, Sa Iksham Chakre, he glanced over the material creation. In the Aitareya Upanishad 1 to 2, it is said, Sa Aikshata, he glanced over the material creation. So he glanced over the material creation. All the Upanishads are saying that God is a person. When we say he, he means he's a person. He's not just some light or some energy. We don't call light he or she, right? Everywhere God is being addressed as he. So it means he is a person. He glanced over the material creation and Sa Ima Lokan Asrajata. He created this entire material world. So who has created the material world? God has created. He's the creator. So he's a person. So we can see how much propaganda there is in the world to nullify the existence of God. So much we are brainwashed with that propaganda that God does not exist, that God is not a person, so much. And we are not given, we don't read the scripture, so we don't come to know. And then we just follow the propaganda. But the thing is, we need to read the scriptures. Thus, many verses can be quoted from the Upanishads and Vedas, which prove that the Supreme Godhead is not impersonal. So God is not impersonal. God is not just some concept, or God is not just some energy, or God is not just some power, or God is not just some light. All these are his opulences. He has these things. But he's a person who has these things. It's like a rich man. A rich man, he, according to the boss of the company, okay, the CEO. So he's there. He does not visit his company every day. But by his authority, every worker is doing their thing. All the office belongs to him. Whatever is in the office belongs to him. All the systems are his systems. And just because the boss is not there in the companies, everybody starts saying, oh, this company, there is no boss. There's no person behind this company. It is just automatically happening. Then it's foolishness. If a small company can't work without a person, then how can this entire universal system work without the supreme intelligence of God? In the Katha Upanishad 2.13, it is also said, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. He's the supreme, eternally conscious person who maintains all other living entities. We say God is not a person. Why? Because we think we are also not a person. We think that the personality belongs to the body. We think, okay, after I become liberated, I will not exist anymore. And so that's why we say, oh, God also doesn't exist anymore. But no, we are spirit souls. We are eternal. Spiritual means eternal. And so what does Katha Upanishad say? Katha Upanishad says that there are many, many eternals, conscious personalities. But amongst all these, there is one supreme conscious personality, one supreme eternally conscious person who is maintaining all the other eternals. So we are all eternals. Each soul is eternal. God is also eternal. But who's maintaining us is God. He is maintaining us. We are not maintaining ourselves. God is maintaining us. From all these Vedic references, one can understand that the absolute truth is a person and that no one can equal or excel him. So there is, the Vedas are so vast, it could take up warehouses and warehouses of space. And if we study all the Vedic scripture, all the Vedas say God is the supreme person. All the Vedas say that. So, and that no one can equal or excel him. So we may say, okay, fine, God is a person, fine, but I will become God one day. That's okay. But the Vedas are also telling us, yeah, but you can never become God because only God is God. No one is equal to him, or no one is greater than him. So it is just our infatuation in our mind that we feel one day we are going to become God. That's just a fantasy that we are living with. And that's the reason we are here in the material world. Although there are many foolish Mayavadi philosophers who think that they are even greater than Krishna, Krishna is Asamordhva. Asamordhva is referred only to God, only to Krishna. No one is equal to or above him. This is the meaning of Asamordhva. No one is equal to Krishna. No one is greater than Krishna. As stated in the Shvateshvatara Upanishad 3.19, Apani Pado Javano Grahita. This verse describes the absolute truth as having no legs or hands. So someone will say, hey, look, the Shvateshvara Upanishad 3.19 is saying, what? That the absolute truth has no legs or hands. So how can he say he's a person? Although this is an impersonal description, it does not mean that the absolute personality of Godhead has no form. He has a spiritual form that is distinct from the forms of matter. This is what we have to understand, that God has no material form. We can't just say that all the forms means they are material. No, the reality is in the spiritual world. He has a spiritual form that is distinct from the forms of matter. In this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clarifies this distinction. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, because the Varanasi sannyasis, the Mayavadi sannyasis have asked Lord Chaitanya to explain to them the Vedanta Sutra. So Lord Chaitanya is giving them all the detailed knowledge. So are there any questions or comments?
No, all clear.
Okay, so we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta ki jai. Hare Krishna.